What is going on, Utensils? There's I am Spoon, and this is a game of Call of Duty Black Ops, I think? Yeah, I got this a while back. One of the guys I follow, aka myself, I don't even know. Somebody. There's this group of dudes that I follow, they're all MLG legit Call of Duty. And they tweeted out that they were playing. I was like, oh, I'll come join you. They're like, oh my god, you're YouTube famous. That's not what they were like at all, but I like to pretend like they were, so I feel better about myself. But anyway, this is a game of Black Ops we were playing, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not one of those people that's like, and here you see I'm using that AUG weapon thing, so we did really good this game. You could tell that we really had our heads together. So when you see right here, no, I'm not gonna do that. I did do some badass shit right there, so be watching. You could be watching while you listen. I already won the game. I had somebody contact me recently, and they asked me, how did I find myself becoming an atheist, or atheist without the "an" atheist? I don't know. There's different ways to say it, and I think both are correct. I don't really think it matters. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be critical enough to be like, excuse me, it's how did you become atheist, not an atheist, okay? I don't know. Just like some people say you don't need to capitalize atheist because it's not like a religious organization or group, it's just a thing. But you know, some people will argue that till they're blue in the face. I don't care. I don't think it matters. For those of you who are not familiar with that, what is an atheist? What does it mean? What the fuck? Does it mean you eat babies and all that shit? No, it does not. It does not mean you are an anti-theist either. Atheism is simply, to me, the absence of a belief in God or gods. You say, well, that's fucking weird, especially if you're in America. This is a Christian nation, Sam. What the fuck is wrong with you? At least you gotta believe in something. I don't have to. No, that's the brilliant thing about living in a country where religious freedom is one of the things you're able to practice, or absence thereof. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how I became to this, or how I came to this conclusion that I do not believe in God or gods. Well, it's very simple. I first started becoming agnostic, which is I just don't give a fuck about religion. I don't really care enough to get involved, say one way or the other. I started becoming that way when I noticed a lot of hypocritical people being around me in my school, and this was back in high school. I went to church all the time, as most people do in this area. Even if you're basically born into church, you don't get to make that choice for yourself, which I think is not right. If I ever have, somebody that I know that, or I guess in this case, if I ever had children who wanted to go to church, I would wait, until they said I want to go to church, and I'd be like, okay, cool, well, let's go. I wouldn't care to stay, but if they wanted to go, then I would find a way to get there, and I would even stay if I have to, but I'm gonna wait until they make that decision on their own. I'm not gonna be like, okay, you're 5 years old, let's go to church, because you don't understand how that works, right? You don't understand how to make decisions and think critically for yourself. And some 5-year-olds might. I know I didn't, and that's what I stuck with. But when I started gaining the ability to think critically for myself, I said, well, why do people go to church and act like they're all holy and shit, and then go to school and act a completely different way? And I was basically preaching to the choir when I said that out loud. I didn't say it out loud, but I said that to myself, because I did the same thing. I went to church and then I go to school and I would be a completely different person. I was like, well, why do I do this? Why am I doing this? And I felt like going to church was empty for me. It was boring and there was no fun for me. And some of you might argue, well, that's because you weren't looking for Jesus, and that's what that void you need to fill in your body is a relationship with Christ. And I think that's basically a big old just bowl of baloney, like a fat ass bowl of baloney, bologna, whatever you want to call it. So I started questioning things. I started to say, well, why am I doing this? And I really couldn't find a reason. Why am I going to church? Why do I believe in this? I had no legitimate reason for me to believe in this besides, well, I've been going this whole time. Why not? And that was simply how it was. So I approach it now with the same question. Why why would I choose to believe in God or gods? And there is no answer for me. I can't find an answer. The only legitimate reason is because, oh, well, you're raised around that. Well, that's not a good reason for anything. That's like saying, well, I raised you to believe that cows can talk to you through the magical power of dance. And, you know, you can believe that. And I'm talking like interpretive dancing, not like, you know, oh, a cow moves around, you could interpret that as dance. I'm saying, like, you know, a cow literally gets on its hind legs and dances for you and puts on a fucking wig. And you're like, well, you've been raised to believe that, so you better fucking believe it. And that's a terrible analogy, right? But I look into it now, I'm like, the only reason really you would have to believe is because, well, Sunday school answer, the Bible tells you so. But the Bible also tells you to do things that are wrong. It also tells you to not do things that are, you know, wrong or right. The Bible is a good grounds for maybe getting some, I guess, backstory to religion and all that stuff. But the Bible, for me, it really isn't good for anything else other than that. There's no way you'd want to view it as a moral compass, considering a lot of things that are in there are fucked up. And a lot of things that are in the Bible, like what slavery, that's promoted in the Bible. We don't fucking do that because that's immoral. Women, they have no right to say anything. They can't teach church, or they can't preach, you know, and they have no right to say anything as opposed to a man. Man has all the power. That's not right. Humans have power, not single people over another. Humanity has power. And so I guess if anything, I would be a humanist, because I believe in humanity. I believe that we have the power to overcome all obstacles if we just put our fucking heads together. But too bad we're all busy worrying about money and military and stuff like that. But anyway, that's another thing altogether. So we have these things going on, and then we have people that are putting tattoos on their body of a cross, like my brother, for example. Tattoos are forbidden. You can't put markings on your flesh. It's forbidden in the Bible. You can't eat shellfish. That's forbidden. You can't wear multiple fabrics of clothing. That's forbidden. People do it every day. So I don't think it's fair to pick and choose things from the Bible and then say, well, we believe this because we picked it out of the Bible. It's like, well, why don't you just pick to say, well, this whole thing was fabricated. It's all a bunch of stories mixed together. And move on with your life. And that's kind of part one from that. I'm going to touch on that more in another commentary. But I kind of wanted to give you guys a ground layer for why I do what I do and why I am the way I am. So, thanks for watching, guys. Looking forward to more. I'll spoon you guys later.